with Ocean Breeze Exterior Remodeling. What I want to talk to you about today are the 5 most common shortcuts or deficiencies your builder is going to do on the outside of your home. Let's go into the shop and I'll show you more. Hey, now I want to tell you a little bit more about a roof and actually show you this one. This is a customer's house of ours. Now, one of the things I was talking about on the roof diagram that you saw previously was how the underlayment doesn't come all the way to the front. I'll tell you what, pass the camera on up and I'll show you a close-up view. Alright, so a few things you can notice on this one here. Number one, there's some wear on the shingles there, no idea what's caused that. But when you lift the shingles up a little bit, if you can see it there, you can see where the felt does come all the way to the end and is wrapped under the drip edge right there. It actually goes under the drip edge. You can see the nail right there where it's nailed into the felt. But one of the things I want to show you right here is that there's been something happen here, or it's just a joint in the felt. But you can actually see a spot where there is no felt, and apparently the water comes through because the wood right there is actually rotting. And when I touch that, that is extremely soft. And so that wood is actually rotting. When you come up onto the roof, be prepared to get dirty, but I do recommend you check this stuff out yourself. You can see further up on this roof, there are some areas where probably needs to be some different kind of work done. These joints right here, you can see some waviness in the shingles up there, exposing some issues. You can actually see a nice wave right here. So see it comes up, wave, and then down. And so roofing and shingles is a big area on the house where you're going to see a lot of your most common problems. But the number one that we see is when this underlayment does not come all the way out. And what happens is that any water that gets trapped under there, like say coming in the dormers, it comes down under the shingles, and ideally it would stay on top of the felt and come under the shingles, and it shouldn't be much, and so it's going to stay under there and evaporate for the most part. But when that underlayment doesn't come out over the drip edge, and right here you see they've actually caulked this one. They did a few good things on this one, but it still needs some repair work. But when that underlayment doesn't come all the way to the front, sometimes it'll stop, and we've seen it stop a foot or two back sometimes. That water will actually come down there, flow down under the drip edge, and rot out all these beams. You'll see some pictures in a minute of some major house beams on a big stilt house that we're doing some work on. And I'll show you those pictures, and you can see just the tremendous damage that can be done when this is not done right. Oh, by the way, there's a quick shot of my cameraman, my son Abishai. Now, in regard to roofing, that's one of the few things that we don't do on our own. We would prefer to hire a specialty subcontractor for that, but it doesn't mean we don't know what we're talking about and what to look for when our contractor does a job for us. For that reason, I've put my installers through courses from shingle companies like CertainTeed and others. This one right here is for Master Shingle Applicator Wizard. Ooh. Has earned the title of CertainTeed Master Shingle Applicator Wizard. And actually, this employee, to get that certification, had to pass a written test showing that he knew what he was talking about and what to look for in roofing. And because so many of our contractors pass those certifications, this one, the coveted Shingle Master certification, was actually awarded to the company from CertainTeed, showing that a certain number of our employees have passed the test and can show the requisite experience that they know what they're doing on a roof. It's for that reason that I can show you this next problem and talk more about what's going on with the roof and what you should look out for. Hey, David Powers here again. Just wanted to take a chance to show you a few pictures of some diagrams and some roofing to actually give you a better idea perhaps of what we're talking about. So let's go to the first one. Here's actually a diagram. I wanted to show you this one because a lot of times we deal with low slope roofs, and this is how the underlayment is supposed to go. You can see the underlayment is actually overlapping. They're calling for asphalt impregnated felt paper here with a 19-inch overlap. Really, really nice. A lot of folks just barely overlap it enough to where the two seams are covered up. But that's not the best way to do it. And also at the very front, at the bottom of the roof, you can see where the it goes over the drip edge. And so, good way to do that. Here's another one. Give you another idea of how the underlayment goes and how it incorporates into the rest of the roofing. But it does actually need to go all the way to the bottom, and it does need to overlap. And here's another cutaway view. You see the underlayment there on the middle roof. And actually on the left where you see the sheathing and decking, they're actually using some pretty wide flashing there. And so a lot of times you will not see that either. It's actually pretty scary sometimes. If you were to be able to take all the shingles off your roof and see what's underneath, you'd wonder exactly what your contractor was thinking when he installed the roof. And we're talking brand new homes here. Here's a roofing in progress. And you can see he's doing a fairly good job. He's got some flashing on the front end near the road. It's got the felt paper and everything going on. But look at that overlap. How far do you think that overlap is? Right there in front of his feet. It can't be any more than, say, 3 or 4 inches. And so, not really a very big overlap. And certainly room for much, much more. He's fairly precise, though. So, I mean, you can see the nice cut on that felt. So, hopefully he is taking pains to do this really nice and really well. But, a few little things that could be done better. And then the video right after this one, actually not the video, the next segment that you'll see, is what happens when a roof is installed poorly. This house right here, just a few blocks from the ocean, beautiful, beautiful stone house, 2 stories with some enclosed areas underneath. We were called on to do a screen porch and a glass sunroom on this house. And the second we started working, we discovered some problems. And more than likely from leaking from above, leaking from the roof. And I'll show you in the next video, though, exactly what can happen to some of the major beams and structural parts of the house when the roof is not installed properly.